Hello guys, this is Saeed here, and this is going to be my first video in English for anyone who is interested to learn more about running any online campaigns, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, any other platform online. And this is going to be a long series of videos which basically I decided to start after a lot of my followers on either Instagram or YouTube reached out and told me, can you start doing some of these videos that you're making in Arabic in English, because there's a much bigger or much wider audience who's interested in English content versus people who speak the Arabic language, which I'm mainly, most of my audience fall in the Arab-speaking countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE or United Arab Emirates, Qatar. So most of my audience is from these countries. And this is why when I started out on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, I started out in Arabic. But going forward, I'm going to be making my videos in English as well as my Arabic videos. So if you guys find that you're having no issues or no problems understanding what I'm saying or what I'm trying to explain, please do reach out and tell me. If you have any comments, if you guys have any recommendations for me, please feel free to reach out and tell me. So I'd like to first start out explaining the big picture, okay? And this is usually what I tell any of my followers on Instagram and YouTube, is to understand how digital marketing works, you have to understand the big picture of these algorithms, okay? So it's all about the algorithms, guys, and it's all about how these algorithms give you the chance or give you the opportunity to reach your target market. This video is not going to be too long because I'm planning to, like I said, record a bunch of videos, hopefully not too long, so you guys don't get bored. So first, let me explain, if we're going to talk about, Facebook ads, and let me start by giving some of the complaints, if you will, that, business owners reach out to me and tell me. And that's across, my clients, whether it's in the US or North America and the Middle East. And usually most of the people would come back and say, hey, I think I'm targeting the wrong audience. I think I got the wrong target audience. I think I'm targeting the wrong interests. I'm not getting any leads. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. My sales are just dropping. I'm not doing well. I don't get it. So I first start by telling them, you have to first understand the big picture. It's not just about going online or going on Facebook and boosting your ad. That's not how it works. You have to understand how the whole platform works, okay? It's a pretty complicated platform, and you have to understand a lot of small details and a lot of small functions, if you will, on each and every platform. Facebook works differently than Google, okay? So let's first start by Facebook. When the way Facebook works, okay, as an algorithm, you have to think of it as a huge, big auction, okay? And the way any auction works is basically, you're gonna go to bid for a certain item, right? Say you go into, a huge auction that has a lot of different items on sale. It has, electronics. It has a lot of home accessories, if you will. It has car accessories. It has services. Okay, let's think of services, different services as products. Okay, whatever. So it has different services. It has a bunch of different things on sale. Okay, and let's say you have about 100,000 people go into this auction. Okay, to bid for all these items, for all these products and services. Okay, and you have the auction clerk, okay, who's going to regulate this whole auction. And the way, he starts the auction is he's going to say, okay, guys, we have hundreds of thousands of products right here. And we have about 100,000 people here in this auction coming to bid for all these products and services. So can I start out, guys, by kind of dividing you in small groups or smaller groups or smaller targets? So if any of you are interested in selling e-commerce, please come here or please stand here, okay? So let's say he gets about 10,000 people here. Then he says, okay, anyone interested in buying, for example, anything that has to do with the medical field, whether it's services or products, please stand here. So he gets another 10,000 there. And then he says, anyone interested in selling or buying, in buying anything that has to do with whatever, food, come here, anything that has to do with fashion, right? The fashion industry, come here, okay? So he kind of divides them into smaller groups, maybe, 15,000 here, 20,000 here, 10,000 there. So then the clerk starts the auction and says, okay, let's get everyone interested in buying electronics first, or, any products or any accessories that has to do with electronics. So, he sees a group of 10,000 people and he says, okay, I'm going to start the auction, guys. If you're interested to buy this certain item for $2, okay, who's interested to start the bid? So, people start raising their hand and everyone starts bidding higher and higher and higher and higher, ultimately for someone to win the product or, to finally buy that product. So ultimately what's happening is these prices, right? The price is going up because there's a lot of competition. There's about 10,000 people bidding for this item. And this is how it exactly works, okay? Or relatively, this is how it works online, whether it's Facebook or it's Google. So with Facebook, you have thousands and thousands of business owners like me and you who are trying to advertise and trying to get their products out there or their services out there. But there's a lot of other competitors in that same industry, right? So the way Facebook does it is it's going to say, okay, look, I have, 10,000 of you guys trying to sell that same product or that same service. So, okay, I'm going to put your ad out there, okay, but it's on you to really show that product or service in the best way possible, whether it's your image, whether it's your video, whether it's your content. And I'm going to see, as Facebook, I'm going to see how people react to it. If people are reacting to it, if people are looking at your content, if people are interested, if people are giving a lot of loves, a lot of likes, a lot of comments, if people are browsing through your ad, if people are opening up your picture, are people watching your video, your entire video, your 50-second or 30-second video to the very end? For Facebook, that's a huge signal, and it's telling Facebook, people are really interested in my specific ad versus thousands of other people. So accordingly, Facebook is going to be like, okay, well, you know what, Saeed? I'm going to reward you for that. And the way I'm going to reward you is I'm going to start showing your ad more, and I'm going to even make it cheaper than other competitors to you. So Facebook's going to be like, okay, you know what, Saeed? Instead of paying $1 or 50 cents, let's say 50 cents an example, instead of paying 50 cents per click per, a user or per a Facebook user clicking on my ad. Instead of making me pay 50 cents for that, Facebook might be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make you pay 30 cents for this click because you're doing a great job keeping my user online. And this is the whole point, right? So the whole point of Facebook is to keep that user, that Facebook user, online for the most amount of time. And I'm doing this job for Facebook, or I'm doing it for I'm helping Facebook keep their users a lot longer online versus another competitor who has a very boring ad out there, right? Who put a very boring image or video that just totally, turns off any user, that the user will be like, oh my God, I'm really starting to hate Facebook. I'm seeing really boring stuff, dumb stuff. What is this, So now Facebook wants 1,000 small businesses advertising, and doing their best and showing the best content to the user, because we're all gonna help Facebook keep that user online. Hence, Facebook is gonna reward us all and keep us longer and show our ads more and even make our ads cheaper than any other competitors out there that have, not very good content. Accordingly, the people that have the boring content, they're gonna pay much higher. So accordingly, when they pay much higher to show their ads, they're gonna stop running their ads a lot sooner. And that's what Facebook wants, right? Because ultimately, Facebook wants us to put our best content out there. So that's what differentiates good marketers, guys, or good business owners, is the way you put your content out there, the way you design your ad, the way, you want to spend a lot of time in writing your pieces, or you're writing your content, your actual copyright, or your actual ad. You want to really put a lot of effort in thinking of the buyer persona. And the way you think about the buyer persona is you got to, sit and think, what or how would I, as a customer, perceive this product or service if I wear that same hat, or if I step in the same shoes as my customer? How would I think of the product? How or what would I like to see that would really get my emotions, that kind of, that would really trigger a certain emotion, where I'd be like, oh wow, I really want this. This really touches a pain point. And this is the key, the pain point. The way you think, or the way the mindset that you should have when you write your content is, what is the pain point for me as a customer, or for any other customer I'm targeting? I got to think of what would trigger their emotion to put in my ad. So it's not just about, hey, I want to show you my product and come and buy my product because I think it's really good, or I think it's a really nice product. It's not about that, guys, okay? So what I'm really doing is, or what I really don't want to do is, I don't want to find a customer for my product, right? I want to find a product for my actual customer. That's what I want. I want to first look at what the customer wants, and then go back and do my research and see what product should I put in front of my customers, okay? That's how you should think about it, guys. Think about what the customer wants, and then go back and say, okay, now I'm gonna go and research about 10 products that I know for sure the customers are searching for online, are searching for on Google. And we're gonna talk about all that, guys, within the next, coming videos. I'm gonna go in details. I'm gonna go in depth and explain how this whole thing happens, how you could research a product, how you could find the best-selling products in whatever niche you wanna go into, how to, assess the demand on a product worth, whether it's Amazon, whether you want to go on Amazon and look at, top selling products on Amazon and taking these products and selling them on your own store, or whether you have a certain interest in a specific service or product, whether, customers are really looking for it or not, And if you're already working with a certain product or in a certain industry and there's, a lot of demand for it, then maybe you're not putting the right content out there. Maybe you're not really able to trigger your customers' emotions. Maybe you're not really getting your customers to think about your product. So it all could boil down to that you just have a very boring ad out there that people are not relating to. And this is the key, guys. So we're going to talk about the target audience or the interest that you should be targeting. But, we're going to take it step by step, guys. We're going to take it very slow until you understand the big picture for Facebook and the big picture for Google algorithm. And of course, when I say Facebook, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram, right? Because Facebook owns Instagram. And when I talk about Google, I'm going to be talking about Google and YouTube. But we're going to take each platform and, go in, a lot of details when it comes to the algorithm for each single platform. But for the sake of Facebook, that's, in a very big picture, what's happening with the algorithm. It's really looking at the competition. It's really assessing how many advertisers I have out there and what kind of content these advertisers are putting out there to my user, and how am I, as Facebook, going to assess all these, all the ads that are coming out there to my user, and accordingly, Facebook is going to start pricing these ads and charging us. Okay. Now, there's a lot more details behind this, and we're going to talk about everything, guys. Okay. But for the sake of this video, and for the sake of the next coming videos, we're going to try to make it maximum for 20 to 25 minutes. And then I'm going to give you guys, some time to think about what we say. And then, to kind of get your questions ready for me, put it in the comments. So by the time I make the next video, which is, probably within tomorrow or something, I read your questions and I start answering them. So I hope you, get the gist of what I'm saying when it comes to the big picture or the, trying to explain the algorithms. And feel free to reach out and put your comments or write your questions. See you next video, guys.